we rebooted the whole system.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
turn your
now
computer
I-
off, and
now I
then
see it.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yes. Wow, that's brilliant. Yeah. So how you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
How are you?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to say fantastic, and I am fantastic, really, but I'm having a right nightmare with technical issues.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, setting up the new site. What a load of palaver. And then, of course, Skype always going wrong and spoiling recordings. And my Outlook account is doing all sorts of shit. And so I'm seriously considering now whether I just buy a new system and fuck off Outlook. By the way, Google, they've... what have they done? They've been cunts. They have took my site down for speaking truth.
Wait a minute, your website?
Yep, the existing one, the Awakened Brave, which is on YouTube, 3 million views.
Oh yeah,
15,000 subscribers, 1,750 videos. They've thrown it into the wind.
That's absolute horseshit. Because I was trying to find some stuff today, and the same thing like you're saying, I can't find anything.
Yeah, we went, and I wanted to show her the interview that you did with Doug Michael, that Irit had sent to us.
Yeah.
And I went to show it, and it's gone. So it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So 1,700 videos. 5 years of my life.
Did you back any of it up?
Well, I think I did. I think I've backed it up to the cloud and Google Cloud, and there's another way that when you look on YouTube, they tell you how to back up all your YouTube videos, but you get a compressed file. And I can't open that file. Maybe my computer is too old. I need the latest version. They always make sure you've got to pay for the latest version. And so at this moment in time, I don't know whether I've managed to retrieve anything. But having said that, one thing that I can say about it is that something must have happened to me in this 5 years because, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the attitude. Zero fucks given.
Yeah, zero fucks given to these motherfuckers because they can't stop me, and I'm going to be talking louder now, and I ain't going to be using their bullshit portal. And so this site that myself and Guy are creating, a private site, I can say whatever I want to say, and I will. Right. And if I want to sit under a tree doing DMT, then I'm going to do copious amounts of it and everything else. You see, what I've done is I didn't give a flying fuck about their restrictions. I went out into nature and I took shrooms and I recorded myself whilst I was doing it, and I told the world all the effects after. I've done DMT overtly and all the rest of it, and I don't know what exactly has gone on presently, whether there's some sort of small consortium which is targeting psychedelic sites, because there's a Psych Substance, my mate Tom, or your mate Tom, they're two of the most prolific ones. Psych Substance, if you're aware of this guy, he's got like over 1 million viewers or subscribers, and he's got loads of fantastic videos and psychedelic trip reports. And they've been targeting him, and he says he doesn't know whether the site's going to be in existence. You see, what they did with me, they went through absolutely very methodically, and I think this is why I'm lending towards it being Google that's done this, because all of the videos that weren't eligible for advertisement that they'd posted, they took some down. They'd age restricted some, they'd warned some, and they gave me 3 strikes for videos which supposedly were dangerous. You see, this is the whole conspiratorial bullshit about the world at this moment in time. There is nothing, no test ever done, I shouldn't think there's any reports ever been produced which state that psilocybin or DMT is dangerous. Absolutely not in the slightest. In actual fact, John Hopkins Hospital, they've been doing tests on psilocybin shrooms for about 5 years now, and they're finding it to be very, very beneficial against addiction and anxiety and numerous other things. And so this is the world we're living, guys. This is the conspiracy against freedom of speech.
Yeah, and we live in the asshole of what we always call the asshole of America. We're about 45 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. So we're right in the middle of the military-industrial complex. We're right in the middle of the shit.
Yeah.
And we see everything. I mean, yesterday, we get chemtrailed here hard every single day. But yesterday, the last 2 days, 5-6 planes in the mornings starting off just before sunrise. We don't even get any sun anymore.
No.
The sun gets 10 minutes and it's clouded and it's just overcast the rest of the day.
I tell you what, that is an absolute crying shame, because where I live now, I live in southern Portugal, and very, very rarely are there any chemtrails. You can see the jets right up at like 38,000 feet, and they've got what looks like contrails behind them. No chemtrails, but when I see videos from the States, are you familiar with this guy, Richie from Boston?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. You know, I'm telling you, man, you see some of those guys, it's like Shrove Tuesday, freaking hot cross buns all over the place. That would pain me so much. I'm a real big nature lover, and just to look at the beauty of the configurations of the various clouds and all the hues and everything, that's something we're going to lose.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we don't have it at all, do we?
No, I mean, like you'll get little bits of it here and there, but I mean, then again, you have your HARP shit, you have your chemtrails, you have like all the sky like in so many different colors that you wouldn't even think possible, even at night. Like we were just talking to our friend this morning about it, and it's like sometimes 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, the sky is orange. It looks like sunset.
Yeah.
It's not black
and they
anymore.
chemtrail all night long.
Oh, yeah.
This is a thing. We live 5 miles from a international airport, Dulles International Airport, and we've had in the last couple months 2 UFO experiences by here,
and then maybe one more the other night,
and one more maybe the other night, and then constant just trailing round the clock. You get up, it's there. You go to sleep, it's there, and it's you can't get away from it. And you have to ask yourself why. People say, well, why are you guys getting hit so hard? And the only reason I can think of is because we have so many people from around. Listen, everybody from around the world lives where we live. From every country, everybody is here because it's where technology is. It's where the government is. Oh yeah. And we're getting hit hard on every single day.
Also, the reason that I would speculate is that because America is controlled by the you-know-whos.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that are in the eye of the world conspiracy, the New World Order. And so this is why everything is so prolific. Whatever goes on, false flags and you name it, all this stuff, it goes down in America because they're completely under the jurisdiction of the Illuminati. We all know who they are. And so this little country here, it constitutes 8 million people. And it's a tiny country on the left-hand side of Spain. And so it's kind of like insignificant as far as the world goes. And so therefore, then there's not much activity here. It's not a rich country. There's very small populace. And so this is why it seems like, 50 years back in the past is beautiful. All cobbled streets and old buildings and manicured gardens around and very, very little traffic and people enjoying themselves because it's about 300 days of sunshine, clear blue skies every day. There's a world of difference. And, when you start to look at all this stuff and you ask, what can we do about it? I really don't know. And so what I've decided in my life is to get the hell out of it. and to live the rest of my life in a beautiful region, speaking the truth, but not this conspiratorial thing. I don't spend a lot of time banging on about that, because
we don't need more.
Yeah, you carry the weight of it, don't you? And
yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much pointless, because in my opinion, when you do things like that, you're just basically feeding the animals. You're giving them more power. And why the fuck do you want to do that? We're trying to make them irrelevant. I mean, that's what it is about. No, it's not about putting the spotlight on who the fuck they are, what the fuck they're doing. We know what they're doing, and we know who they are. Who gives a shit? That's passé. Basically, the thing now is coming up with solutions, making them irrelevant, and building solutions for everyone, you know, as a community, to come together and create a different paradigm, a new reality, one that we can actually live in and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you just said it. You just said it. I mean, you're living your life. That's what we have to do. That's what we're doing now. When we started our channel 2 years ago, I didn't even really try to do anything with it. We were just going to do our little talks by ourselves. And I was still into a lot of that conspiracy thing. Now it's just, I don't even want anything to deal with it, you know, because it's not, you can't get anything out of it. It's all been talked about 1,000,000 times over.
Of course.
And what you get is people complaining, but no one's giving the solutions. But what you just said was what I feel, what she feels is what you have to do. And that's live your life.
Absolutely.
Speak your truth like you're talking about, but create. That's our thing for the rest of our lives, is create, whether
Absolutely.
it's art, music, writing, whatever.
Yes. So what I have decided to do, I don't know how much you know about me and my site and the topics I've spoken on, but I've spoken on a whole array of topics. I've gone into all the conspiracy stuff, and I've done all the negative videos with the Muslims and the Zionists and the pedophile rings and the politicians and the 13 families and all this sort of stuff. And I was practicing astral projection a couple of years ago, so many videos on that. Then I got into the psychedelics with the shrooms and the Amanita muscaria, and more recently DMT. But predominantly my site was about philosophy and psychology, because what I wanted to do, it wasn't bring everybody around to certain opinions and to get people all on board, you know, believing this and believing that, because I'm the first one to say that I don't believe anything. I absolutely do not believe nothing, because, well, one thing I believe, that this world, this universe is such a paradox that you cannot depend on any single knowledge that you're ever going to acquire, because
Exactly.
it only comes to, it's only a matter of time before you're going to get something which completely blows it out of the water or contradicts it outright. And so there's no point in seeking truth. And so outside in the world, because the world isn't true. It's a non-reality. It's a hologram. It's a projection of our imagination. It's a dream, all this sort of stuff. So what I have been saying to people is that think for yourselves. Look inside your minds and get it in your heads that you've all been hypnotized. You've all been programmed. You've all been coerced down a very, very narrow parameter of learning. And so you are told and you are threatened, and you're kept absolutely in the clutches of fear if you ever dare to start thinking about something else. And this is why this new world order, the last thing they want is people doing psychedelics, because once you do psychedelics, you know that all that is bullshit.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we've talked about this from time to time, years. Why was marijuana, which is a natural plant that's, you know, grown here by, you know, it's just natural. Why was marijuana outlawed years and years ago, but opiates, beer, liquor, all these things, cigarettes that have been proven over the years, it's more destructive than smoking a joint. You know what I mean? If the joint isn't tainted with man-made shit. But if it's pure marijuana, it was put here for a reason, just like like mushrooms. I agree with you. That's that you have to wonder why everything that helps us has been outlawed, and It's just simple. I mean, they don't want you to find out who you are. And that's where we're at. Our whole focus now is going inside, because that's the only thing that you can trust.
Absolutely.
Right, babe?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if people would just stop looking to the external and just turn inward, it would be a whole different ball game, you know. But the problem with society is that everybody wants to be able to point the finger at someone and say, oh, well, my world is fucked up, my life is fucked up because of this and because of that and because of you and because of you. No, motherfucker, you're the one who has control over your life.
Yeah.
And the sooner that people realize that and turn inward, like he was saying, the easier it would be. You know, there is no need for a Superman or fucking X-Men or anything like that. That's who we are already. That's already built.
We are the Superman.
DNA.
As far as Nietzsche goes, we are the Superman. All these videos I've done, the information's gone out into the ether. That's the way I see the world, because just like Google now, with all the Wi-Fi all over the world, it's the new cerebral cortex, and all this information, there's a gazillion bytes of information all around us now. And so this is like the Vedic Akashic records. They was, you know, speculating or believing that the information is all around us. And you see, that was 2,000 years ago. How smart were they now? When we know now via technology that is absolutely true. And so what I maintain is that every single thought we have, it goes into the ether. Every single word we say, it goes out there. It goes into the collective consciousness. And this has been proven because with Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance, are you familiar with that?
No. Not
okay,
really.
so but basically, if one set of animals learns something on a remote island, for instance, then nearby islands, the same animals will start acting in a very similar way, because they're learning through some sort of psychic connection, through some sort of connected consciousness. And so this is what this whole thing is all consciousness. And so if we realize that we are the consciousness, we are the transceivers, we are the ones that are receiving this information, because I don't believe that there's any shit that goes on in there. This is not an illusion. It's coming from somewhere, and it goes out. And so consciousness is growing exponentially. And so whether there's a reason or a purpose for this human being thing, you know, is heavy speculative. But I think ultimately what this universe is about, it's about consciousness experiencing itself. Now, we are part of consciousness. We're experiencing ourselves. We are, as far as we know, the greatest intelligence in the whole universe, because we know of nothing else. And so I say to people, for goodness sake, realize this, know it, embrace it, and just absolutely live your life enjoying this. Whether we've reincarnated here from the spiritual world to have an experience, if so, fucking experience it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Live it, do it. You know, experience everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you have to ask yourself too, why are we in the situation that we are? I agree with you. It's an illusion. We talk about this. There's some days where I just look at her. We'll be sitting out on the porch drinking coffee, and I'll just look at her and I'll go, this isn't real, man. None of this shit is real. You talk to people. Some people can't even make a complete sentence in their head, you know, and they have no common sense. And so I go, this can't be real. This shit just can't get, and you have to wonder what is that side of us. If we all are connected in, like you say, which I believe, where have we gone wrong to where the dark side of it is taking over so much and the light side of it is getting snuffed out? That's where we have to start looking at going, okay, how do we bring that shit back into balance? Because right now we're way the fuck out of balance.
Yeah, but that's why they're doing this, because they're scared of us, because they know as a collective that we're more powerful. We outnumber them. I mean, it's just, so what are they going to do? They're going to pump out your fake news and your fear porn. They're going to make the highest vibration on this planet fear, anger, rage, you know? And I mean, of course, that's how they do it. It's fucking mind control. I mean, we talk about this all the time.
But see, Aaron, don't you think that, like, I agree with what she's saying. However,
who is she, by the way?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Sheryl. I'm sorry.
Cheryl.
Cheryl. I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you, Cheryl.
Nice to meet you.
Brown Sugar.
Yeah. Everyone knows me as Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
That's his nickname.
Sorry. Yeah. So I mean,
and you're Greg, for the benefit of,
yes.
of the viewers.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry about that.
And you're in Virginia, yeah?
We're in Virginia. Yep. Right outside of DC. Unfortunately.
Yep. I know.
Yeah. And
so
you've started your site how long ago?
We started that about 2 years ago now. But when we started it, like we were talking about, she really wasn't, but I was more still into the conspiracy thing at the beginning. But I never really put that much emphasis on it because we're working on a documentary film for my company. So this was just something for us to put out and just have little conversations. Then we ended up getting in touch with Doug Michael, and then we started doing a podcast with Doug last year.
Yes, it was last year.
Like December of last year. And we started doing that.
No. I think it was a lot earlier than that,
well,
right?
Yeah, it
was last year.
Yeah, regardless, it was last year. And then so we've really started getting into doing the podcast with them. We had a guest, Robert Stanley, a couple weeks ago. Now we're doing this with you as well. And so it's taken off. It's starting to take off, and we didn't realize it. But it had to get to this point because where I was, it's just like you were talking about. It was just the same conspiracy crap, and I didn't want to do that. So we just kind of let it sit on its own, and then all of a sudden things started opening up, and we started growing more and growing and growing, and now it's just, taking on a life of its own right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is absolutely the way forward. And if I've come to settle with anything after the 5 years that I've been doing this, and I've been putting up videos every day. Sometimes I put up like 7 or 10 videos, an enormous amount. But what I've been doing with my viewers all this time, banging on and banging on and banging on. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody listening? Have you got anything to say? For goodness sakes, are you going to make a comment? Do you want to get involved? And what I've done recently is, for the last 3 months, I've been telling my viewers that I'm going to be setting up a private site, because what I want to do is I want to take those of you who have got something to say, that have got a reasonable level of intelligence, and you can articulate. I want to bring you into a community whereby we're all going to be getting back to our humanism, because what's been happening, and I'll be saying to my viewer that you put up your little ghost icon, and you're a pseudonym, and you're all scared to say anything, and then if you do say something, you don't want to stand by it, or you don't want anyone to know who you are. I said, listen, this isn't the way the world's going if you're going to survive. If you're going to be churned up in the old mincemeter, then carry on doing what you're doing. But I'm telling you now, people, what we've got to start doing is vocalizing. We've got to start communicating with human beings. We've got to start Skyping so prolifically and absolutely talking about all this stuff and looking at real people. You're real, I'm real. Let's get more real people involved. That's the way forward. And so that's what I'm doing now. This is what you're doing. And so what I'm going to be doing on this new site with my mate Guy, reaching out to many people like you, the likes of Michael Tsarian and Mark Passio, and all these sort of people that have read and educated themselves for like 20-30 years, and they talk. And so these are the people that I want to draw to the site and communicate with and meet, and basically promulgate what we're saying. All the stuff, all the esoteric stuff that the Joe out in the street just doesn't have a clue about.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And the thing with us, again, the most important thing to us right now is creating. I think creating is why we're here. I think that's why if we were created, whatever, or however we got here, creation is why we're doing this now. And like I said, it's either we do vlogs, we do podcasts, we're making a movie, and it's to get people to look inside. That's the most important thing right now that I can stress to people, is the only thing that you can trust is inside. Absolutely. You can't trust anything else. Doug and I were talking this morning. you can't even trust your five senses anymore.
No.
You can't trust anything. You can't trust your sight, your hearing. You can't trust anything. You have to trust this. You don't trust that, you're going to fall for the biggest line of shit ever.
So when you say you've got to trust this, elaborate on that for us, please.
Okay, for me, and she might have her own different version, but for me, it is trusting your intuition, your spirit.
Exactly.
I think we are spirit. We are uncreated, pure energy.
Absolutely.
Okay, we can never die. You can't kill us. That's why this whole thing of fear on this dimension is bullshit. It's designed because we've forgotten who we are. And this is the real thing where I feel that they don't want people to talk about is when you start to go in here and you realize that you don't need them, and you realize that you don't need a God or any kind of deity floating around. That's what makes you dangerous.
Absolutely.
When you come to the self-realization that you are a creator and that you're spirit, that's the most dangerous thing to whoever's running this little game. That's the most dangerous thing to them. And that's what it is. It's listening to your inner spirit, your true essence.
Yeah.
Higher self, whatever you want to call it. That's how I feel it is.
Yeah. And so what I've always been preaching basically is that look at how they depict God. They said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was good. If you look at that literally, in the beginning was the Word. Well, what is word? Okay, it's language, but what is it more fundamentally? It's vibration. So we know that the whole universe is vibration. It's energy. And so in the beginning was vibration. In the beginning was energy. And so nobody can be serious if they look at the Bible literally, because it isn't meant to be interpreted literally. It's all in parables. It's all a deep-rooted philosophy. And like Jesus says, truly the kingdom of God is within you.
Right.
You know, look within you. And so when you do this and you say to yourself, well, okay, well, what is it that's in me then? What am I looking for? That's this godly thing that's so great. I'm just a small human being. I'm insignificant, and you know I can't do this and I can't do that. Hang on. You think, you're conscious, and you're creators potentially. Now then, think about God. He had the ability to think. He had the ability he was conscious, of course, and he was a creator. And so we are God. And we have created figments of our imagination. Well, let's say they have created it for us to take our inner power away from us. So we project it onto something else. So we're always beholden. We're always in fear of doing wrong for somebody else and this, that, and the other. But basically, if people get their heads around that we are actually God, we are the most powerful thing in this universe because we are conscious. Consciousness is the most, well, it can't be found, it can't be measured, but it exists. It's absolutely undeniable. And so it's the only thing that's absolutely undeniable, which isn't corporeal in this universe, isn't it? That we've discovered so far. We're basking in something which we haven't got a freaking clue what it is.
Exactly.
Everything else we can measure.
Exactly. We don't. That's what we tell each other all the time. We don't know shit. At the end of the day, no matter how much more we think we learn, we don't know shit.
Yeah, it's all
you know,
speculation.
and that's the thing. Everything is speculation.
But you know, you live in even that is dubious, because if you look at quantum physics, then they'll say that you know there's nothing here actually.
Right.
But we know we're conscious. Let's go from that premise. And so you guys are perfectly right, and it's wonderful to meet a couple of people that are in the same ballpark, because the only thing that we can depend on is our consciousness.
Yes.
Okay, we've got this consciousness. We've got the ability to think. Some of us have got the ability to think greater and more productively than others. But whatever level of thought we've got, this is it. This is what we are. Absolutely. And so all the rest of it is bullshit. All the rest of it is come about by misguided people. When you look at the perspective of that, what they are doing to us. Okay, that's one perspective, because that's just a rudimentary thing which happens throughout humanity. It happens throughout much of the animal kingdom, because it's all about hierarchy and it's all about power. And so as soon as you've got someone that feels more powerful than other people, it's our natural propensity to exercise that power and use them. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's what we are. It's the creature what we are. But you see, there's always going to be that. When you're at school, you always got the toughest guy in the school, or the little toughest gang in the school. When you're in the village, you got the toughest gang in the village. When you're in the city, you got the toughest gang in the city, usually mafia, and so on and so forth. And so governments now, they're the toughest gang in the countries. It's a natural progression. And so if we look at that, I don't necessarily go, look what they're doing to us. I go, look what we're doing to us, because we're the ones that are allowing it to happen.
Exactly.
Of course, we're the one that's giving them power. I mean, if you want to give, like you were saying, you know, the toughest guy in school or the toughest gang in the town or whatever the hell, you know, if you want to give them that power by letting them feel that they're bigger, they're badder, they're tougher, they feed off of that fear, and that fear is what gives them power. And when you have like a collective of people with the same mindset of, oh, they're better than us, and oh, we have to do this because that's what they say. No, that's when I say, fuck that. Free thinkers, dude, free your mind. Nobody is more powerful than anyone. We're all stuck in this. This is the same shit that we're all walking around in. No one has any superpowers. There's no lightning bolts coming out of people's fucking hands and shit like that.
Only difference is that some people are more intelligent and some people have more money. That's the only difference, isn't it?
Correct. That's it. If you have, it seems like if you have the paper, you know, if you have a lot of paper that has some kind of, you know, illusionary power, that's what holds the power, because that's how it's been for ages. People just accept it. The quote, poor people just accept that they're poor, and they know that the rich are rich, and they know nothing's ever going to change. And that's what I'm talking about. They've kept, for some reason, we've allowed, as a consciousness, we've allowed this. Like you said, we've allowed it to happen. That's what I was saying a few minutes ago. The scales are uneven. We're unbalanced. So we need to figure out how to bring that back into balance. And that is how I believe it's creation. That's what you have to do. You have to create things that are going to go out into the world, out into the consciousness, and get people to see. But the problem is that dark side of us has done such a great job of propagating the fear that everyone always looks for a savior, whether it's aliens, Jesus, Allah, whoever they're looking for. They can't accept, like you said, they can't accept that they are God. They can't, because it's blasphemy to them.
The power comes from here. Just look at the world.
Yes.
Sky-rise buildings and planes and rockets and, you know, humongous bridges spanning miles and miles and miles. Who created those? We created those.
Yes.
Of course.
Everything that isn't natural on this world, who's created it? The human mind's created it. And you are part of that. And so don't get thinking that people are so brilliant because they built this rocket and, you know, this, that, and the other. Well, how many? Can you imagine how many minds went into building that rocket? For like, let's say for 100 years, all the technology, even going back, no, even more, going back to like 1450 to the gravity guy, Isaac Newton.
Okay.
Isaac Newton, when he's coming up with the gravity, and he came up with this mathematical equation, wasn't it? Also, oh goodness me, what's the mathematical?
The E equals MC squared?
No, that's Einstein. No, he came up with calculus. He came up with calculus, which was a major shift in the technology of humankind. And so we've been building on all these people. We're all standing on the shoulders of great people. And so collectively, that's what we are. We're the power source collectively. And of course, some people, they've stolen our power by hypnotizing us into thinking that we don't have any power. But you see, 5 years ago, let's say 12 years ago, I finished a business that I was running in the UK, and I left to Bulgaria to do another business. And I said to the mother of my daughter, I said, I've got this scheme in my mind, and it was regarding building projects and this and the other. And I said that I'm going to be a millionaire. Now, what happened is in that 5 years, I got into all sorts of trouble. I made a lot of money at some stage, but then I got to a point whereby I got in a lot of trouble in Western Africa, and I was shot and I was almost killed, and I almost lost every single thing I earned, and I came back a broken man. That was so stressed out with fighting for my survival in a country whereby people want $1 or $2 a day. What's going to happen when you go there with money? Eventually, if you're not very, very careful, you're going to end up with nothing, because that's the natural format of it. If you go into a jungle, or if you go into a swamp or something like this, what you're going to end up? You're going to end up as being food for the swamp and food for the jungle. And so what happened is, when I had this experience of being shot in my bed one night with an armed robber, I ended up running out of money, and I ended up coming back to the country. And for the 3 years then, I was in a small apartment, and I was reading 10, 12 hours a day, every single day for that 3 years. And then I went onto YouTube, and it's been 5 years now. And what has actually happened is, I have become a millionaire. Can you guess how I've become a millionaire?
Through your consciousness.
Absolutely.
Through my consciousness. Because now I realize that when I had a shitload of money, I wasn't happy. My ego was massive. I was running around this world, wasting all my energy, gathering resources, having several houses and having the upkeep and all the expenses with these and everything. And I looked at all these houses and all this beautiful stuff I had, and it was dirty, and I wanted to clean this, and a bit of dust there, I wanted to clean that, and all this stuff going on. I was in protect, and I'm like, what the fuck's happened to me? I decided that I don't want to protect any of that. I've got to protect this. And I've got to protect this. And so now, when I'm meditating on the beach, and my mind is absolutely empty, and I don't have any pressing engagements whatsoever any single day of my life now, I say to myself, I am a millionaire. I've got more of what is real as a human being than any of the Rothschilds or Rockefellers. What have they got going on in here? What are they carrying in here? I'm as free as a bird. I look at the flowers, I look at the bees, and I look at the natural world, and I absolutely immerse myself in it, and I am one with it, and I've become one with the whole universe, and I realize that we're all one. You know, this marvelous feeling that you get of connection. And so, I've realized that the kingdom of God is within me. I felt the kingdom of God within here. And so, I am a millionaire.
Right.
Even though it's a completely different variety of millionaire that I set out to achieve.
Yeah, and that's the most free that you're ever going to be as well. That's the thing, is they keep people in fear and beaten down and thinking that money, like you just said, people think money is the answer, and it's not. And I've told people this in years ago. No matter what your faith is, no matter what kind of God you believe in, for the most part, for most people, if your bank account goes low or gets to zero, you start panicking. People start panicking. Why? Because they've put their trust in that paper, in that piece of worthless paper. You're exactly right. The consciousness is our true currency. That's our currency.
All of our energy, we invest it in paper.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Without
think about it, if you take it away, what you even out the playing field. If you take that money away, that almighty dollar, if that shit just gets all destroyed, null and void, then you even out the playing field. Then what? I mean, what are they going to do? Who are they going to be? Nobody. They're just going to be just like us. That's
one of the reasons why I think people have always talked about the fall of the dollar and the crashing and all these things. Of course it could happen, but at the same time, that's their enslavement tool. That's their enslavement tool to the world. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, they might change it down the road somehow or whatever, but it's never, for my opinion, it's never going to go away until the game is over, because that's what they keep people enslaved with. people want it. They work for it. You're right. People just want to work and work and work. And at the end of the day, what happens? They die, and they die miserably because they were chasing something that doesn't even exist.
Chasing the illusion of happiness and contentment via this, false energy.
Yes.
So let us collect what we've been speaking about here now. And you see, what I'm trying to do at this particular point in my life, having gathered up all this information, I'm really trying to look for it and come up with the answers. Because just like you guys were saying, you can look at 1,000 videos, 100,000 videos, and who is actually coming up with the answers? Very, very few people. So if we look at it then, and if we go, okay, we are having this experience, and we know there is a conspiracy, there's a war on our consciousness. And so I've said, why is it, people, that every single thing in this universe, spirits and entities and everything, they want a piece of us? The reason why I say this is because I've had astral projections where I've got females come to me and pull me out of my bed in the astral projection because they want sex with me. And so they come for this human energy to have sex. Then when you get shadow beings, what do they want? Why do they come to spook you and this, that and the other? Because it seems they're getting your energy through the fear that they can generate in you. This is the whole thing about David Icke's reptilians. They're feeding on negative energy. Right. So if you look at that and if you go, hang on, it's the same here. They're doing it. They're feeding on us. What they do is they instill fear within us. And why do they instill fear within us? Okay, because we're much more malleable and controllable if we're scared, because we're much more liable to obey by those rules, yeah? So that's one thing. But I think there's something bigger over and above that. I think there's the energy thing, because everything can be reduced to energy, and energy is what consists of this whole universe. And so you know yourselves, when you feel good, wow, this positive energy, it feels fucking awesome. And when you feel bad, it feels terrible. And so what we have to do then, in this experience, what we've come to do, if it's a test, a consciousness, we are, the divine spirit, and we know everything, but we come down here having lost our memories to see to how we play this game. How do we play this chess? How many of us are actually going to get out the labyrinth, or we're going to make this ascension? How many of us are going to do this? Well, if we are beguiled by all the trinkets that keep us hypnotized on this world, we'll never do it.
Yeah.
The moment that we realize that the trinkets and the most beautiful things on this planet are the simplest things of looking at a drop of rain on a glass with a reflection of the sun or a tree in it, then you see God there. Then you look up in the cloud and you see the hues and the light shining through the cloud. When you look at the light shining off of water, when you look at the bee gathering up pollen with his little bags of pollen on his legs and going back to his hive, and all this communication and intelligence, that's where it lies. It lies in that level of understanding and appreciation. And when you immerse yourself within that, you don't want any of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's where to me, that is us letting ourselves out of this prison cell. That's exactly, you just gave me chills, man, because that's exactly what we talked about this the other day about the possessions, the trinkets and the things that you talk about. That is what holds us to this place. And I think that, I can't prove it, but I think that that's how you would get trapped into coming back here, right, so to speak, because just like you said, if you have so many things that you're attached to here, you're going to want to come back regardless. And that's where I think the most important thing her and I talk about is preparing ourselves. Yes, we've got to live here. We got to keep a balance. But at the same time, you've got to prepare yourself for what's coming at the end of that, so that you don't get snookered into coming back into this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in a quandary in relation to this, and the reason why, because I absolutely love this world. The natural world. It's so amazing. It's so nurturing, and it fills you, or you immerse yourself into the love. Because it seems to me that when people talk about it's all love, I could never get my head around that. All these gurus talking about, you know, fundamentally it's all love. And, yeah, but I'm telling you now, Greg, with my experiences on psilocybin and DMT, the recent DMT experiences where I was in nature and all the trees turned into cartoon trees, like an animation in a Walt Disney cartoon. You look at that and they're dancing and they're saying to you via the psyche, hello, can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? Your whole body's rushing. It's burning. There's an amazing feeling of ecstasy within the body. And you look at it. Literally, like that. And you feel yourself like that. You've gone soggy, and you're looking at it, and you go, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, really? I'm telling you, that's when you know what it is. And then when you see something, you see a leaf falling from the tree, and you get a tear in your eye, or you just start laughing at the absolute madness of it, you know you're on your way then. Because that bullshit out there, it's just funny. It is funny. But the natural world, all of God's creatures, so to speak, that is what I would come back for. Oh,
listen, I'm going to tell you exactly. That's what I agree with. My dog, who you can't see, he's sleeping on the floor. Dogs are the greatest thing to me in this world for nature. Dogs, and I'm like you. I like the oceans. One of my favorite things to do is watch sunsets. Unfortunately, we don't get sunsets anymore because we're covered up by shit. So yeah, that part, that aspect of it, I agree. This is a beautiful place, and it's also it can be a dark place. But you're right. There's more beautiful things in this world. For me right now, where I'm looking at this is, I've experienced this so much, and my spirit is just wanting to move to that next level. You know, not coming back to, even though these things are beautiful, and they're like my dog is one of the most beautiful things in the world, looking into his eyes, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, her and I talk about this all the time. We're like, we want to get to the next level. We want to go and see what's next. Absolutely. Yes, this place was fun for a while. Now it's kind of a drag. You know, we want to expand ourselves so that we can go to that next place, wherever that place is. And but I do agree with you on that aspect, man. We talked about this. There's so much beauty, mountains, rivers, parks, all these things. We have some parks near us that we can go to every once in a while and get away. In a place that's about an hour from here, that's in the mountains. It's just beautiful. It's like an hour and a half from here, and it's like our getaway, because we're far away from this place, but we're in the mountains as well. You know, we're in the mountain. We can relax there.
You can feel the energy change. You can actually just feel the shit just like fall off of you the further out you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, wow, you can breathe, and people are nice. You know, it's not like here, you know, it's such a fucking rat race. You know, it's work, slave, until you're like in the fucking ground. Well, okay, working is okay. I mean, everything is work, but again, you can't take the shit that you do here with you. And where's your enjoyment? Where's your happiness? You can't tell me that you're completely happy running and grinding and slaving and shit. You can't tell me that. I mean, it's even if you're passionate about what you do, you still need a break. There still has to come a time where you have to be like, oh, fuck, you know? I mean, everyone gets to that point. But the mentality here is you have to work, and everything is made so expensive to where you have to work a lot. And there's just zero time for enjoyment. And I mean, I look at people, because I deal with people every day at my job, and I'm like, man, you just feel like, you know, you're watching, you know, the little mouse running through the maze trying to find that piece of cheese. And it's like, fuck, like, just stop, stand still, breathe for a moment, you know?
Yeah.
That's the best things ever, is just to stop.
And everybody's so angry here, man. This area, everybody's so angry. It's just like a big vortex of darkness.
There is this paradigm shift coming about, and I did many videos about how I was interpreting different energy vibratory environments. This part of the world has got a beautiful energy. It's uplifting, it's energizing, it's emancipating, it's
awesome.
loving. It's got all these characteristics about it. Now, what I said to myself is, whilst I'm contemplating these things, I asked the question, is the beauty actually in the eye of the beholder? Or is there actual intrinsic beauty in things? Mm-hmm. And I would say that there's nothing intrinsic about anything in the world which is beautiful. This sounds like I'm going down the bad road initially, but I'm going to tell you why I say this. It's because when you become beautiful inside, then you will see the beauty around you. If you're not beautiful inside, you can't see it.
Right.
For instance, my old man, a depressive person, when he wasn't depressed, he could find the beauty in a butterfly, in the tiniest little creature, and he'd go on nature walks and he'd be immersed in all this, and it was absolutely wonderful. Throughout about 10, 15 years, his depression got worse and worse, and in the end, he couldn't see the beauty in nothing. So that told me absolutely categorically, without a shadow of a doubt, beauty isn't intrinsic in nothing. The beauty is in your vibration. And so, when we're talking about vibration, you're talking about the ascension. We're getting there now, aren't we? And so, I'm at this sort of stage now whereby I can absolutely feel this amazing beauty. What I think is the world, but it isn't the world, it's my state of being, what I've gotten myself into via 5 years meditation and looking at the world and philosophizing and knowing what's bullshit and knowing what makes this body happy. You see, this body needs catering for, and if we don't cater for it well, then it's going to feel shit, and it's going to make this feel shit. If you eat healthy, if you exercise, if you satisfy it to all the heights of what its basic requirements are, then that's when this body will free the mind. And when the mind is free, it starts to think. And it starts to open up, and that's when you go into a higher level of vibration, and that's when you're on the ascension. If you don't give this body what it needs, the purification, the rest, the tranquility, and all this sort of thing, it's always in agitation. It's always out of balance, and it's always got anxiety. And so therefore, it's always going to be find something to be afraid of, double afraid, triple afraid, and all this sort of thing. And then you can be doing all sorts of stuff because you don't know what's going on inside here. And so, like you was just saying, everybody out there is angry, and they don't know that they're not happy when they're buying their new BMW or Chevrolet, and they've got the big house, and they're showing everybody else, look how successful we are. Of course we're happy. They don't know what happiness is. They haven't got a fucking clue.
Right.
If you ask them, when was the last time you cried with the pure joy of being, i.e. in a deep meditation, when it's so blissful, tears just fall down your face, and it's like, it's so beautiful. What's so beautiful? Anything out there? No. It's the feeling of vibration that you've gotten yourself into. And when you realize that, you say to yourself, did anything else that I've got make me cry with pure joy? No. Makes me angry, makes me protective, makes me anxious. It makes me all these sort of things because I know it's all going to decay at some stage, and I've got to protect it and I've got to replace it. Once you get this level inside here, you know it's there. It's there forever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking similar. She tells me she's like one of my greatest teachers because where I have a lot of weaknesses, she's strong.
Oh no!
And
that's
so
bullshit.
no, that is true.
That's
so it's true. So she said to me,
well, okay, maybe Greg, you're thinking that Sheryl is strong in certain ways because you have a deficit in certain ways. But I'm sure Sheryl will think that you're strong in ways that she feels weak.
Oh God,
Correct.
yeah. I mean, we balance each other out completely.
Yeah.
Like I learn from him, he learns from me. When I love him. It's just that way all the time.
Yeah, one of the things that it's just a simple thing, and it hit me while you were talking about that, is that if you're no good to yourself, you cannot be good to other people.
Indeed.
If your vibration isn't like you're talking about, there's no way you can help people, because if you're so down in and thinking all these things are real and letting fear control you, anybody else. And one of the things that's hit me so hard lately, and when I do meditation, I try to keep myself completely cut off. So I don't go into these things a lot of times looking for an experience. I just try to cut everything off.
Yeah.
And rest, right?
Expect nothing.
Expect nothing. And sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes I wake up out of it and I'm like, wow, exactly what you were talking about. There's been a couple days in particular that I remember of just walking around the house when no one was home and talking to the universe about how thankful I am for everything, right?
Yeah.
And when I did that, that's when I started crying. That's when I started getting chills. That's when I sit and talk with my dog, just look at him and tell him how much I love him. I can feel that coming back from him to me. I made her a video thing for Valentine's Day, right? And while I was making that, all our pictures from the past, and I was making this thing and put a little song to it, I sat there and watched that, and I'm like, same thing. That's the love, because I know our love we have for each other, the love for nature, my dog. That's when I start getting what you're talking about. That's when I everything just bubbles up, and it just explodes.
And so what it is then, I think, see what you think about these guys. We've got options, and when we have come here, it's difficult when you're talking about it, because it's so out there, isn't it?
Yes.
We've come from the spirit, and we're down here having this human experience, and you think, oh fucking hell! If we heard it like 20 years ago, we'd go, fuck off. What are you fucking dumbass motherfucker? Go and get a job. You've got too much time on your hands.
Exactly.
But when really you start to feel it, you start to think, well, it seems to me then that the whole game down here is to discover what we really are, what the universe really is, because the universe seems to be a particular vibration. And when you immerse yourself into that vibration, it's the vibration of not caring, and I don't mean in a callous way. It's that nothing should be cared about, because everything just is.
Right.
And when you are in this just isness, when you are not projecting anything onto it, you're not being biased, you're not being critical, you just are in a level of acceptance. If you're walking through a forest and a snake bites you, have a level of acceptance, because that is all what this is. All this stuff is potential. But ultimately, see, whatever the way in which we finally meet our demise, I'm pretty sure, many people have told us this, that when we go back to source, we'll go, oh, what a way to go. Bitten by a snake. Oh, don't. At least, a slate didn't fall off a roof and cut my head off. I wonder what it's going to be next time. And if you can take it like this, if you can take it all in your stride, we're going to die. We've come here to die. That's the reality. We've come to die, haven't we?
Yes.
And so, the amount of people that don't want to look at that, look at it. You've come to die. What have you actually come to do? You've come to spend time here, and then you're going to go back. So the dying is going back. And so all journeys, they have a beginning and an ending. And so this journey is going to begin and end in this form. But like you say, it's not going to end ultimately. So when you get your head around that, then I think then that's when you can relax about absolutely everything, and nothing is ever going to bother you.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me just say about Charlie Manson. He says, what fucking jail? He says, you're in jail. To the interviewers that go and say, Charlie, you're going to be in jail all your life. He goes, what fucking jail? And so many people have listened to that guy speak, and he ain't wacko. He knows what fuck's going on.
That dude, and I've tried. This is so funny, man. Oh, yeah. I've talked to people about him, and I've tried to explain the same thing that you just said, and the people in our circle just looked at me like I'm a complete fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
But if you ever listen to the interviews that he did and dissected them, because I watched just about all of his interviews. First of all, the guy was completely one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. And people think that he was this devil, man. And when you listen to the guy and the things that were coming out of him, you're like, holy shit, man. Who the fuck?
Because this is what we wasn't told. We was told a load of bullshit about a cult leader and about a devil worshipper, and he's the devil incarnate himself, and this, that, and the other. When people look, was Jesus the devil incarnate? They killed him just the same. Yeah. Was Martin Luther King or Gandhi? All these people, they killed them all in the end, because when you get too close to the bone for their liking. When you start to speak too much truth, that's when they're going to cut you out of the equation. Yeah.
They can't have it. They can't have it. And that's the thing is, like, you wonder, Doug and I talked about this too, why do certain people get to that level? Like you're just saying, they get to that point and they go, okay, enough, cut them off, right?
Yeah.
An interesting dream that I had real quick I'll share with you was I told her about this. This was a while back. I had this dream about her. She was with me. All of my friends were with me, and we were in this big, like a laboratory. And these people were in lab coats, white coats, and they had human bodies hanging on like hooks.
Yeah.
Right. And they had these big, long syringe needles, and so that we were waiting in line. And I figured it out while we were waiting in line that each person in line was taking a syringe and injecting these humans. And I figured this out, and I go, wait, whoa. What are you doing? I was like, you're not letting them evolve. You're not letting humanity evolve. Why? What are you doing? I was like, no, we're not doing this. They handed it to me. I threw it down. And then what they did, these guys in the white coats, they injected all of us, me and everybody behind us. We fell down, passed out. Woke back up, and then we were like, no, fuck you guys. We're not going to let you do this. We're out of here. We're gone. Fuck you. So we left, and as we're leaving, we slammed the door, and I woke up out of that dream, and I go, that is why I'm here. It's the fact that's why I fucking came here, to help those that you're talking about to remember in some kind of way, whether it's doing this.
You got me all go shivery now.
Yeah, and that's it, man. We're here to remind those people, you are pure fucking energy. Your spirit. You are everything, just like you said. Absolutely. And that, once you realize that, nothing will scare the shit out of you. Nothing will ever scare you again. Once you know that you are energy and that you're everlasting and you fucking know it, if you fucking know it, there's nothing that'll scare you. Nothing will scare you.
Yeah.
No disease, no fucking guns, no war, nothing will scare you. Okay, kill me, motherfucker, because I'm going somewhere else.
You're just releasing me, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think naturally the ego, the human operating system is gonna feel some fear because it's afraid of the pain. But I know what you're saying. Spiritually, when you know this, and this is why. You've got Jesus carrying his own cross and, up there in complete resignation because, he knew it was only a game of chess. And but you see, when you look at the masses, and that was a beautiful illustration dream that you had, and it's great when you have things like that because it kind of like gives you purpose, doesn't it? It's like, aha, now I know, and we can think that we've got some sort of a purpose. And I've been in the quandary in this past 5 years. What am I doing? Because it's not like I set out to do this. It's not like I want to do it. It's that I'm compelled to do it. And how am I compelled? I'm compelled by my thoughts. And what happens is that it seems to me that I am getting downloaded these thoughts, because in the middle of the night, first thing in the morning, making a cup of tea, all of a sudden I've got a video, and it's like, I've got to get the video. I sit down in front of the video recorder and I speak for an hour. How does that work? Non-stop. I've not written anything down. I've not done any editing. That's how all my videos are. And so I have to ask myself, what's going on here? I'm not that smart. I'm not that driven. I don't really give a fuck that much about human beings, because I don't fucking like most of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's totally
That's us. That's us.
But why do we do it?
Zero fucks.
You know what it is? I can sum it up for you pretty easily.
God.
It's that you're remembering. You're coming into a remembering. You are actually letting yourself be who you are and do what you came here to do. I'm not one to fucking read shit tons of books, even though I do love to read. When I first had my awakening, I dug just like everyone else, you know, read, look at stuff, watch YouTube videos, whatever. But then after a while, I was just like, everything's redundant. It's the same shit. It's over and over and over. There's got to be something more than this. After that, I was just kind of like, well, you know what? Let me just see what I feel. Let me take the way I look at things, interpret it, discern it, use what's good and keep it, what's bad and throw it away. So what I'm feeling from you is, no, it's not that you're quote unquote compelled to do these things. You're doing what you came here to do, which was to open people's eyes, open people's hearts, let people remember who they are, why they're here, what they came to do, so they can move the fuck on. You know, it's community.
Doesn't that make us a bit like Jesus?
Well,
you know, if we start to think like that.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I don't want to say that, but I do think in one.
By the way, that was beautiful, Sheryl. Absolutely, because just for me to know that you know that satiates me. You know, I've met another couple of seers and feelers, and this is the whole drive behind my life. I think is to meet people like you. I don't believe that everybody shares the same variety of soul, because when I've been on psilocybin shrooms, I can see that one's a husk, that one's very, very negative, that one's just an extra. They're proper human beings there. Your empathy feels them. And so I believe there's a whole conglomerate. How this conglomerate comes about, do they come from different star constellations or something like this? There's a whole myriad of energies in the universe. And so why should we assume that they're all human and we all come from one source? No, I don't think so, because when you have psychedelic experiences, you see all different sorts of creatures and energies.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I'm in agreement with you there. I don't think that every living creature here is from the same place.
God, no.
Just what you said, there are, we talk about this, there are shells. There's just empty shells of people walking around that are dead. There's nothing to them. They're the ones that are here to cause the chaos, to cause confusion, to cause all these things. And
I call them husks, automata, or extras. Because it's like that we are in a movie and we're the star.
Right.
Everybody who is a proper human being or a proper spirit, we're the star in our own movie. And so it's a case of, well, what are we going to do with it then? Hang on, I'm the star here. Because if you start to believe that you're the star and you have come here to have an experience of your choice, do it then.
Well, you have to become more than the actor, I feel. I'm going to take it a step further. Not only are you the star of the film, you have to be the director. You have to be the producer. You have to be the one who's writing out the script.
Yeah.
I always call this the script. This is the fucking script, okay? If you're letting... Okay, I'm going to just toss out an example. We're making a movie, okay? We're doing our documentary. If we were to give his vision to someone outside of source, which is him and us now as a team, then it's not going to be the same story, is it? It's going to become their story. We all need to be the ones to write our own script, create our own destiny, and be the star, the producer, and the director. Yeah. We can't leave this in the hands of anything other than our...
You can't leave it in the hands of anybody else, because otherwise they will manipulate you and coerce you and all the rest of it. So yes, that's... but you see, if we take that one step further then, maybe we get into the realm of solipsism, whereby we're the only thing in existence anyway. Because if we're going to come down there, and if we're going to play all characters, if we're going to play the goodie and the baddie, and you know, the director and the extra and this, that, and the other, because when we go through our lives, if we look at what we do, many occasions we can say, "Hang on, I was just acting there. What happened there? That wasn't me." You meet somebody and all of a sudden you feel all out of sorts and you're acting differently, you're saying something, you know, out of character, and you walk away from that and you go, what the fuck? Where did that energy come from? Who did you become? Yeah. So we Go ahead. I think ultimately what we're saying here really is, guys, that we are everything. And we are this oneness. And when we start to become the actor and the director and the extras, then this is when we're getting closer and closer and closer to realizing we are the vagabond sitting in the doorway. We are the Rothschild greedy bastards. We are any number of facets of humanity, because we are human. It's like if you look at a virus in a petri dish. If you just take a small bit out and go, oh, look, there's a virus here. Well, it's all a virus. And so if you take that out, then it's a virus separate in your hand. But you look back down there and there's a collection of virus. You put it back in, it's still the virus. Take it out, it's still the virus. We're human being. We're all human being. And we're all sharing this consciousness. And we're all having this experience. And we are all enabling each other to have our particular experience. Look around you, all these people that, you know, are angry and whatever negative aspersion we can cast upon them, they're serving you a purpose, because they're making you realize that you don't want to be like that. That's not so good. And so therefore, you transmute their negative energy into your positive energy. So if there wasn't for these negative souls around you, how positive would you be? If everybody was on the same level of vibration, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Oh, and yeah. She says this she says that all the time. You can't. There's no fucking utopia, man.
So therefore, then, Greg, we need these people, and so I think then we shouldn't be going these Illuminati bastards or these terrorist bastards, because we're all this thing together, and we've all come here to learn from each other, and we're all facets of our own self, and this is what I experienced on my second DMT trip, when I went into an absolute void. It was as white, and there wasn't a single sound there. And stood before me was about a 6 foot tall Y with big coloured M&Ms on it. When they all had a number in 2, 9, 7. The bright red and purple and green and yellow. And I was like, what the fuck's that? For a couple of days, whilst I was in there, I was thinking, it's all about me. I'm like, oh my God, no. This solipsism thing, the feeling of absolute loneliness, that it's all me, and I've created all this. Like when you look into the manifestation of consciousness, what it's come out of, speck of consciousness is there on its own, lonely, bored, uncreative. It creates like cells. It divides, and now it's experiencing itself. And so 2 days after I had that experience, all of a sudden it went, a Y chromosome. I looked on YouTube and I saw Y chromosomes, and I go, that's it. And the M&Ms, or the beautiful round coloured circles with the numbers in, was the DNA. And so that experience told me, it's you. It's you, Aaron. And it was scary, because when I started to come down from that, when I was there, I had no awareness of this vessel of Aaron. I was in this oneness, and there was nothing else. It was just white, nothing.
Right.
And when I started to come back, I realized that I was a human, having a human experience, and that's when the fear and the anxiety come back. And I wanted to come back. I wanted it to wear off, because it's lonely, man. It's lonely as fuck out there. It's all about me. And I'm like hugging my mate, and like all others were a projection of our own selves. That's what I think. Yeah,
see, that's one of these things where I still haven't come to grips with solipsism. I know what you're speaking of, and that's one of the very last things that that's what I hope is not true for me.
Yeah.
And I understand because I understood everything you just said. And that's one of the things I don't want to go down that road, because in a similar way, I thought about that one day about, okay, what if I cross over, and what you talk about it happens. We just go back to being, just being nothing, but everything.
Yeah.
So that is, for this, that's a scary thought. That's a way, way scary thought, to think that if I just disappear, I just disappear, but I'm everything. And it fucks my mind up, man.
Yes, and not only is the thinking part of it. You see, when we think it, we're thinking from the egoic perspective.
Yes.
But when you experience it, there's no ego. You are it, and that's when you feel terrified. It's terrifying because you've got this consciousness, and you know that you're the only thing forever and ever and ever. And I've listened to many, many people, near-death experiences, psychedelic experiences, all this sort of thing. And again, it's an absolute paradox, because you'll hear people going, I went into this bliss through this long, white tunnel, and it was all heaven, and, angels were singing, and it was all beautiful, and it was full of love. I've listened to completely the opposite as well. And so is there everything out there? I would suspect that there is everything out there. I would suspect that what it is what you've created in your mind that it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Because we are creators, we are God, and if you lie in bed, Sheryl, of an evening time, and you're just about to fall to sleep, and you're thinking about stuff, if you think about, damn, I don't have the money to pay that, then all of a sudden, what have you done? You've created fear and anxiety within yourself. If you are satiated in every region, and you go to bed, and you're so grateful for the beautiful bed that you're in, and the warmth and the shelter, then you feel beautiful, don't you? You have created it again. So every single second in our lives, we're creating our experience. And so therefore, once we know about this, then we can better create our experience here.
Oh, I totally agree.
So let me ask you a question, Aaron. Would you say, given that point of view, would you say that that's why we always tend to, given the reincarnation thing, if it were real, would you think that's why we keep returning? Maybe no one actually makes us come back. Maybe it's that fear of what you were just talking about, mm-hmm. of being nothing, that we can't really handle it, and we want to keep experiencing that. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at what consciousness is just awareness. That's all it is. When you have a deep, deep, profound meditation, and your mind is absolutely clear, and you forget that you've got a body, you can't feel the body, you can't even sense your breathing, nothing. When you've just got this awareness, then I've been in this region which was just like a tingling blackness. It was just a tingling blackness full of information where you knew everything. And so it's the same. I've been in the pure black and I've been in the pure white. Hang on, what's going on here? In deep meditation, I'm showed the pure black. It's the same message, that you're it, just information. And in the pure white, you're it, just information, mate. So, if this is the state of consciousness, and it has the facility to create, then we create. And we create the illusion of things and stuff. And so, like you say then, we're down here, and we're thinking that we're in hell. I think we're in heaven. Potentially.
Oh, dude, that just fucking blew my mind. Dude, that just fucking blew my, because you're right, man, because how many of us, including myself, have looked at this, even now, see, again, she's always different than me a lot of times, because you don't necessarily view this as hell, have you? I mean, aspects of it.
I think that there's aspects of it, but I think it's what we've created. I think that, how you view something is
if you tune into that, it will be. If you tune out to it, it won't be.
Right.
You see, I don't live in America. I couldn't stand living in America for the mentality, but for the poison which is all around.
Oh, it's everywhere.
I've traveled 45 countries around this world, and I've decided now that this place is for me. This place is what I signed up for, to come down to experience this. I've been all around these other countries and experienced a whole myriad of stuff. Lots of things beautiful, lots of things terrible. And now I'm feeling this absolute bliss. And whether it's because I'm in this beautiful blissness region, or whether it's because I've evolved now, I've rose up the echelon of the rungs on the ladder. It is all about what we create it. And because I don't watch Trump and all this business and a clear way of all these conspiracies, then I free my mind and you free your heart. If you do watch it, you're poisoned. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
And people, everybody has to get this. If you don't want to feel like that, if you don't want to be drawn into the hypnosis, stop looking into the eyes of the beast.
Yeah. We just talked about this morning. Is television is the greatest fear tool that it's the devil. To me, it's the devil. I mean, as a metaphor, it's the devil. When you watch this, it's just nothing but fear being pumped into your consciousness. I think, who was it? Bill Hicks, I think, said it years ago. It's like spray painting your consciousness or third eye or something like that when you watch TV.
Yeah.
And because it's the same thing, or it's like the equivalent of putting a gun to your head, because you're letting all of these things that you can't see and a lot of people can't feel go into your consciousness. And that's a really bad thing, man. People still, and now we have them in our hands. We have TVs in our hands. We have TVs in our hands. Now they want to put them in the brain.
Yeah. And you see, what we're doing is, when we do this, we're looking at this gadget and we're being fed. We are not thinking for ourselves. We are not experiencing what this thing is. And so therefore, then you can see that all these automata milling around, running around. I've been so many places in my life, and I've stood in the middle of big cities, and I've looked around, and people are coming this way. Central Station in New York, for instance, Victoria Station in London. The same, I stand there like a fly on the wall, and I see if I can get eye contact with a human being. If I can look into their eyes, discern some spirit there. I've never ever done it. People will look at you like a monkey. If you've ever tried to look into the eyes of a monkey at a zoo, then they'll look into your eyes, seemingly. You'll think you've got eye contact with them for a split second, but it isn't. It's just the fact that their eyes eventually may look at your eyes, but there's no recognition of your consciousness in your eyes. And you can see this in a monkey. And this is how the people look to me. There's no recognition. I can't see consciousness in there. All I can see is programs.
It's like like a haze.
Yeah,
like they're glazed over.
If you feed on this, then you are what you eat. That's what you're going to become. And so if you don't feed on it, you see, we know now as being awakened people, one of the ways which we're going to get propelled into this awakening is if we have something fucked up in our lives. If something shakes our paradigm and it upsets us so much that we decide that I don't ever want that again, and then you start looking for another option. So what it is in effect is, it's like if you watch a terrible scary horror movie as a child on the television and you say, I'm not watching television again, that television scared me. It wasn't the television, it was the program. But
Right.
if you look at it like that, you see, it's the program
Right.
that's scaring you. Stop watching the program. And when you
Right.
stop watching the program, and if you go out and play cricket or play football, all of a sudden your mind will be thinking in a whole different realm. And then, you know, you'll see birds flying by, and you'll see a mouse crawling on the floor. All of a sudden you'll start to notice all these things around you that you never noticed before. And this is the whole thing about it. This is the awakening, isn't it? This is the metaphor, waking up from your freaking hypnosis.
Yeah. And it's so hard to do, man. If you're dead asleep and you're constantly feeding into this shit, you're not basically, people aren't going to listen to people like us. You know, if you can't have a conversation with somebody about these things, because the same thing. It's like you said, there's a glaze over people's eyes. If you even, I gave the example a few weeks ago. I've been with people outside standing with chemtrails all over the sky, just filth, right? And I go, look at this shit. And they're, oh, what? That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not, like, how in the fuck, like, how are you not seeing what I'm seeing? And they go, oh, that's just contrails. That's not chemicals. I'm like, it's spread out all over the sky. It's dry. It's milky. How do you not see this? And that's exactly what you just said. They can't. It's not for everybody. And that's been one of the hardest parts for me, is that in the beginning, I wanted to be this person. It was all ego, but I wanted to be this person who was waking everybody up. Oh, shit, look what I just found. Look what I found, guys. And they're like, the fuck is wrong with you? You're stupid, man. Right?
Yeah.
And I learned quick. I learned real quick that not everybody wants to know this. Not everybody can know it. And that's just the way life is. You know, that's not my job. My job is not to be a savior. My job is to put my creation out and help people through my creation.
Well, you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved to begin with. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, that's the way I've always felt, because I as well fell into the same trap where, you know, I started learning things and I'm like, hey, holy shit. The first feeling that I felt was anger, you know, fuck, I've been lied to for 30 plus years of my life. What the fuck, you know? So you want to go out and share and stuff like that. But it's funny because, like, when you're talking to someone and you know they're not on your wavelength, like, you can literally see the words bouncing off of their heads, and you're like, it's pointless, it's fruitless. Like, that shit lasted for me like maybe a week and a half. And then I was like, okay, you know what? My thing is this. I don't have to stand up and scream and yell and shout and make my voice heard. Those who want to listen to me will come and stand close to me, so I don't have to scream and shout. I could just practically talk like this. Yeah. And that's how they'll hear it. That'll be because they want to. And that's because they feel something. They have something that's like, hey, I feel like I need to ask her something. Hey, I need to talk to her about something. You know, it's not seeking out people. It's letting them find you, because truth has no other way than just to find truth.
Exactly.
You know?
So if you
need to.
If you look at the metaphor then of a lighthouse in the pitch of black, drawing moths, what does the lighthouse do? Does it sound out a siren? Is it calling all moths? It's not. It's just emitting its light in the darkness. Right. And so anything that recognizes the light is going to be drawn to it. And so this is now Paul and I don't know whether you've seen any videos of Paul, a very good friend of mine. We've done thousands of hours of philosophizing in the woods and everything for a couple of years. And so we've come to the conclusion whereby to bang on about it is absolutely fruitless. Because if you look at a movie, let's look at a metaphor of a movie. In the movie, you got the star, and he's always going to get the girl, isn't he? The extras don't get the girl, do they?
Right. It's always the star, yep.
It's always the star.
The extra might get it for a second. Plot twist.
Yeah. Might get a flash in the dark. But generally speaking, then, the star is going to get the girl. And so we when we have had whatever it is, and I can't say that I'm not going to be attributing any greatness to myself. It's just the path that I've travelled. I'm not going to say that I'm better than anybody else because I've done this and I've done that. I didn't want to read all these hundreds and hundreds of books and watch all these thousands of videos. I was compelled to do it. Something was driving me to do it. And so therefore, this body is just going along for the ride. I'm telling you, peeps, it's just on for the fucking ride because I don't have anything, whatever I is, no idea. I'm just doing something and it's been remotely controlled by something. So I've had to learn, and the thing is about this stuff, we all have to go down these proverbial rabbit holes, and we all have to immerse ourselves into the Illuminati and the conspiracy and this, that, and the other, because we've got to go down there to know that it is absolutely fruitless in one respect. But it's not fruitless in another respect, because when we come out of it, we're wiser, having been down it, even though we know it's pointless, having gone down it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's completely the wrong avenue, but it's stuff you've got to know. Yeah. And so, because if you don't know that stuff, then you can't go on to the second level of the journey. And the second level of the journey is by just being like Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. You don't have to say and do anything. You just be it. And so, okay, we are being it. And we're saying it. Now, Gandhi also had to say it, didn't he? Because just one guy walking around a little village, being the change he wants to see in the world, isn't going to get anybody too far, really, is it? It's not going to bring about any big changes. So we're in this paradigm whereby we've got this media, and I can be speaking to you, 3,000 miles away, and when this video goes up, then, potentially hundreds of other people. And so, therefore, then, just by us talking about our humanism, and this gets back then to where we started, it's about the whole humanism thing. Because those out there, they've lost their humanism, and they're never going to get it back by us shouting at them. They'll get it back in their own time, when we got ours back. I didn't have mine back 5 years ago. I was fully immersed into the capitalistic way of life, Jaguars and fine things and lots of properties and all the women and all this sort of thing. Oh, I was loving a bit of that. Didn't satiate my soul. It took me further and further down to my demise. But I needed to travel that path to rise back up again. Yeah,
it's all learning. It's like middle school, high school, college, and then you're out. That's the way I kind of look at it. You go down these things now. If I even see a video on the Illuminati or something, like, I'll just like get it away from me, man, because it's kindergarten.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's preschool type stuff. So once you keep climbing and climbing, and then you get to this point where you go. A few weeks ago, we were going to bed, and sometimes we'll just watch some videos to kind of fall asleep, to just relax. And we found ourselves getting angry. Well, I did more than she, but why am I getting so angry, man? We can't find anything to watch. And we went to sleep, and the next morning she goes, I know why. And she's like, our spirit was rejecting all of these videos because we don't need it. It's shit. It was like static to our spirit. And that's why we finally realized there's not much we can really watch anymore on YouTube as well, because it doesn't feed us.
Nature.
Yeah. Nature is the number one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nature will feed you, and you will look at these nature programs like The Living Planet, The Natural World, and this sort of thing. You will look at those like a newborn baby. Because when David Attenborough walks you through the Amazon jungle and he shows you all these different sort of creatures that you never even knew existed, you're seeing them for the first time. And you go, my God, when you just become calm and you don't want anything, you just are open to experience, you can see that is what this life is all about. Yeah. And you've been neglecting it all your life, and you've been beguiled by the scrying scream.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if you look into this long enough, you'll see the demon.
Yeah.
Yep. This scrying screen. This is what black magic's all about. They've been using this black screen for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And now they've introduced it to all our children.
Yeah, and that's what I've always said for the past few years is humanity is under sorcery. It's been under sorcery, and you're exactly right. It's the same reason when they started making these HD TVs, the flat screen TVs, right? And they keep getting more and more real with the pictures. Now we've got 4K, and there's probably going to be whatever's next after 4K. Well, what are they doing with this? What's it going to get to? Is it going to get to the point we've talked about this? I think is it going to get to the point where you flip on the screen and these holographic things just come out at you? You know, literally right there with you in your living room. Could they use that for nefarious reasons? Of course. Of course. You know what I mean? Make you think there's a fucking demon right in front of you, you know, with this technology. Yeah. And you're right. Look, we've got 3 little nieces, 2 are twins, and they're 2 years old? 2 years old. And their little sister, who's 1 year old, they all know how to, you know, work the fucking phones, the tablets, everything without any problem. And that's, to me, that is fucking sorcery. That is, you know, they're not my kids, so I don't have any say in what, you know, what they can see and what they can't. But you got to wonder, is putting a tablet, is putting a cell phone in a little baby's hands, is that the equivalent of a gun? You know? You have to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I look at just about everything from as many different perspectives as I can, and I've tried to look at this thing from, you know, another perspective, whereby we can detach ourselves from the fear, the hate, and the disappointment, and the downward spiral of humanity, whatever. If you just picture that we are at a certain point within the human consciousness, and we've just evolved here. Consciousness has evolved to this state. Is it wrong? Is consciousness wrong? Consciousness has done it. And so, what can we say? You see, the human being invariably doesn't like change. It likes comfort, and it likes familiarity. Now, us, you know, midlifers, we're looking at the world and we're not liking what we see because it's getting out of our control. It's getting all too technical, and we don't understand it. We can't comprehend it. It's too vast for us. And so therefore, no, people, stop going that road into all these robots and into all this Wi-Fi and into all this business. And the kids are like, what are you talking about, Dad? It's brilliant. Yeah. Hang on. Who are we to change their minds around? Because the human being, one thing it's got on its side, it's an amazingly adaptable creature. And if you look around at the masses, then it's 90+% who have fallen for this. It's kind of like, I go, if that's what you want, then that's what you got. The ones that don't want it, somewhere, somehow in here, there's a switch that's going to flip. And they're going to say, I don't want that, like we've wanted it. So if you look at it like that, with a certain resignation, that the evolution of man is going to go, look at it for the next 1,000 years. Is not every single epoch in humanity going to have these existential questions whereby we think it's going the wrong way?
That's a good point, and I haven't even really given that much thought, but that's a good point. Could the technology and the way things that human consciousness are going be for the next generations to come after us? Maybe they've chosen, maybe we, as going back to us as a consciousness, maybe that's it. Maybe we've all, like you said, have said, okay, this is what we want. We want to experience this next thing. I can say honestly now, I don't want to experience chips in my fucking head or downloading shit into my brain. No. That's not, to me, that's not the human experience. So for me, I don't want to be a part of that type of world.
That's right. But look at your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how you grew up with go-karts,
Right.
with catapults, with bows
Right.
and arrows,
Yes.
fishing rods in the little stream and this, that and the other.
Right.
Our program was immersed in the natural world.
Yes.
And so we have an affinity to that. And when we look at kids who don't have an affinity to that, we can't comprehend what they don't understand about the joy. You want to come fishing? They'll go, "What? Get the fuck out of here. You know, I'm gaming." But when you look at these games and how amazing they are, you can see how very, very easily young minds are going to get drawn into it. Far more exciting for a young mind that is a sponge that wants stimulating. It's stimulating it, you know, like nobody's business. How stimulated is a child getting from watching a float bob up and down? You know, when he gets the odd nibble by a fish. And so if you look at how humanity is morphing on the lineage of time, I think it's just a natural progression of evolution. Because if you look at the AI, I think that's a separate facet of evolution unto itself. I think AI is a separate entity. I seriously do believe this. I don't believe it's created via man. I believe it's been assembled by man. And it's the evolution of consciousness has needed to reach a certain period in its evolution whereby it's got creatures like us that think like us, which give rise to computers like this. And I'm absolutely positive that there's going to come a day in 100 years, 1,000 years' time, there won't be any human beings because... Look how fragile we are. The dinosaurs managed to live for like 260 million years. We haven't even been around for, you know, for 2 million years as the creature we are now. What hope have we getting for 260 million years with all this level of stuff that's going on? We're going to kill ourselves without a shadow of a doubt. And so consciousness is going to continue this journey without the human being.
See, that, you know what? That's so interesting, man. Again, because I haven't even really looked at that from that perspective. That makes, I can see that making a lot of sense in the sense of going back to what you said a minute ago. How did I grow up? And again, you're right. It was riding bicycles. It was playing outside all the time. It was playing sports, fishing, and so yeah, for me now, watching these kids who never go outside, rarely, who never, you know, they're always stuck in the gaming thing, like you said. It's weird for me because I didn't grow up like that. But again, I haven't even thought to look at it like that as well as, okay, you know, I had my time here, you know, on this earth experiencing what I loved and how I grew up and the whole, you know, Star Wars and all these great things. And now I can't understand the new generations coming. Why don't they want to do that? It's because it's not their role. It's not their time. They've got a different consciousness coming.
Yeah.
And that just made sense. Thank you for saying that, because now that's given me something different, a different perspective to look at it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And also, if we tune ourselves into a higher level of acceptance, you see. The objection I have about the human being is that it's run on a very, very ridiculously low grade operating system, and that's the ego. The ego is absolutely ridiculous. It's preposterous. It's so archaic. It's pathetic. It's scared of this and it's scared of that, and then it wants to big itself up about this and big itself up about that, and it wants to deplete all the resources on the natural world, and it doesn't give a fuck about anybody or anything. Collectively, this is what the human ego is, and so this is why we're in such trouble. If you look now at the world, and if you go, okay, let's have a look now to the future, 1,000 years. If the populace continues to grow exponentially at the rate it's growing, then there is going to be no more resources. There's going to be no room for trees. There's going to be no oceans that are not polluted. And so if you look at the eventuality, whatever weather comes into play, if another ice age, they're supposed to come around every 17,000 years or something. Well, you know, we're about due for one. pretty soon. And so there's all this stuff that's going to be going on, which is going to be molding the evolutionary aspect of human consciousness. If it's going to necessitate for the survival of the human being to get chipped, to keep up with the computers, because like Elon Musk says, they can think 2,000 times faster, and that's even been surpassed now. They'll be thinking 20 times faster, 100 times faster. Quantum computers can make more outcomes of a certain scenario in less than a second than there are stars in the cosmos. That's how quantum computers work.
I can't even wrap my head around that.
No, you can't get your head around that. And so, therefore, then, it seems that this thing, you see, it was necessary. The human being was necessary. It's not the be-all and the end-all. We think, we've come down from the consciousness and we're this and we're that. We're just fantasists. We fantasize about everything. That's why we create stuff, because we fantasize about it in the first place. We fantasize about flying. We fantasize about going up in rockets. And so we do it, don't we? And so we now fantasize about that, because we're so egotistical, that we start space creatures and we don't have a body and we're going to go back home. So therefore we create religions and we create heaven and all this sort of thing. It's just all this imagination going wild. I don't have any allegiance to none of that stuff, because the experiences I've had in my life on psychedelics and in dreams and astral projection and all this sort of thing, it's shown me that this world is very, very bizarre. And this mind is bizarre beyond comprehension. Yeah. When you take DMT and you go into this world, where the fuck's that? Have you ever taken it, guys?
No, we haven't. We haven't taken it.
Okay, where the fuck do you go? You go into another world. Absolutely another world. If you take DMT open-eyed, a reasonable dose like 80 or 100 milligrams, the whole world around you turns into another world. And then you look at yourself and you're still you in this other world. It's like you've slipped through into a parallel universe.
Well, could that be the access to the other side of the veil, like you're saying?
Yeah, and in astral projection, when you leave your body, when you feel yourself, and all sorts of noises going on, and sometimes you get pulled out your body, you're in another world.
Oh, yeah.
And you go to yourself, hang on, I'm Aaron in another world. There's women here want sex with me, and they're beautiful. How the fuck's that work? And then sometimes you get a shadow being put his head round the corner like that, trying to scare you. You go, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, we've had many of those. I've had many of those dreams with the dark shit, coming in. Yeah, it's so fucking real, man. Like you wake up and you're like, God damn, that was real as shit,
Yeah.
And something that you just said a few minutes ago when you were talking about the imagination. I told her I think this was online somewhere, watching one of these videos. This guy was doing an etymology on the word imagination, right? And he broke it down, and I had never thought about this. He broke it up to I, and then magi, and then nation.
Magic.
Yeah, and that's what just reminded me when you were talking about it. I was like, wait, nation of magicians. So that's what you said is what we are. We're constantly creating, but most of us, the majority, don't know we're creating what we don't want to have, as far as on the outside. People think, I don't want war, I don't want this, but actually the fear and all the things that they're putting out in the consciousness, that's what's creating it.
And our compliance,
yes,
which is play a major part in it. Because you see, if you look at the human being, you go, hang on, how did we get here? What I say is like, it's because you're lazy. What are you talking about? It's not because I'm lazy, it's because of them. No, what they've done, they've made it easy for you to be lazy, because they've taught you how to produce stuff, and now you're all living in comfortable houses, driving comfortable cars, and you're going to do your little job and this, that, and the other. And even though some of you know that you're actually enslaved, you're prepared to accept this because it's easy. It's a whole lot fucking easier than living in the bush and finding your own animals and building a bivouac and all this sort of thing. So what we've done is then we've slipped into such a level of complacency that we have given our energy to other people. When we look for politicians, we look at them like father figures because we're like, I can't be bothered to read all that bullshit, all that paperwork and all these rules and regulations. Fuck it, can you do it for me? And they go, oh yeah, we can do it for you. As long as you pay me like £250,000 a year, when your wage is only £12,000 a year, sure, we'll do it. And then because we've done it, we've given our power away because we want to go and watch football and play fucking thingies. Then what has actually happened is, who wouldn't? They've gone, they've given us all their power. What are we going to do with it? And so then they look at the fucking board and they go, well, a bit like Hitler moving his war machine around. Well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to do something else. And every single time Hitler pushed his fucking U-boats over in this direction and his panzers over there, then what have we done? We've gone, oh, the panzers are coming again. Oh, the U-boats are here again. You know, we're so dumbed down and complacent with it. We accept everything they fucking do. What do we want? It's our fault.
We are our own worst enemy.
Always.
Always. We are the enemy. We're the enemy. You know, and that's the thing is like you everybody, like you said, is so distracted by everything that they don't have time. This is what we've talked about. People don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to look, they don't want to face the darkness that's inside them. They don't want to take the time because it's too much work. Like you said, it's everybody's fucking lazy. So if somebody else can do all the shit, just let me have my cable TV, my sports, and my chicken wings, and I'm good to go.
This ain't called the hero's journey for nothing, is it?
Right.
You see? When you look at it like that, we're on a hero's journey, and it isn't because it's easy, it's because it's hard. And that's why the ones that make it are heroes. And so we are now in a position whereby we are being heroic because we've faced all our shit. We've looked at our shadow, and we look at our ego, and we keep ourselves in check, and we ask ourselves, what can I change about this? And what can't I change? And this is where the serenity prayer comes into play, isn't it? You know, give me the strength to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right. Well, by the time we've looked at this, and you look at the brain, you look at, hang on, you got the stem brain, the reptilian brain. Well, this is the whole satisfaction thing. It just wants to satisfy itself, and it doesn't mind about any consequences. And then you've got the mammalian brain, which is the ego predominantly, and it's kind of like, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, a bit of planning, this, that, and the other. And then you've got the superconsciousness, which is the part of the brain which says, do you really want to do that? If you do that, you know, there's ramifications to it. And so you've got these three brains actually going on now, which are making this human being. And so if we get involved with all of those, if we look, if we feel, hang on, today, this hour, I'm going to feel what it's like to be this reptilian brain. What am I going to want to do? I'm going to want to fight. I'm going to want to fuck. I'm going to want to eat. I'm going to want to do all the things that please me. All the things that my body tells me to do, which I think is me. So all you do is then, with the reptilian brain, you run around feeding the selfish genes. Because the genes, genetically what we are, they're entirely selfish. All they're about is their own self-creation.
Right.
See, nothing to do with any benevolence of God or anything like that. We consist of a whole conglomerate of other creatures, of very, very tiny animals. We're probably about 70% tiny animals. That's what this body is. And so when you say I, what do you mean I? You're legion. You should be saying we. You know, me and my 62 gazillion little mites, which consist of my cells and everything like that, which are running all over my body.
Exactly.
Which are breaking down my food and which are doing this and doing that. And when you've got these say like you want sugar. Well, that's a little creature within inside you. When you want fat, that's another creature within inside you, because you've got viruses within the body that want to feed on that stuff because they've become accustomed to it and they want it. And so therefore they send signals to your brain. So when you start to look at all this stuff, and you ask yourself, what the fuck's going on here? How much of this can I change? Why don't I just accept everything that's going on and try to enjoy the ride?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's the greatest thing that we've figured out, or that I've figured out for myself, is that now it's just about actually living and being who we are and creating what we're doing every day, because it's the only way. First of all, it's the only way that's feeding my spirit. It's the only thing that's keeping me going now, is doing what I do and putting that stuff out there. The greatest thing for me now is if I do a vlog or we make our podcast, is when somebody hits that comment button and says, "Hey, thank you."
Yeah,
that's all it takes. That's all it fucking takes. If someone just says thank you, or hey, you made my day, or whatever, thank you. That's it, man. That's why the fuck I'm here, because that's helped somebody. Then that's going to make their day better. Then they're going to go and be a better version of themselves. And that's why we're fucking here, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so let's have a look at this then. You're a violin player. You play the violin because you love playing the violin.
Mm-hmm.
You love hearing your own music, yeah? Very, very selfish. Very self-indulgent, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in ecstasy. Making my own music because there's something about the vibration that turns you on. Now, if you say to all your friends, you should play the violin, and they go, I'm not interested in playing the violin. And you go to them, well, you don't know what you're missing. You should be playing the violin because then you can feel like me. Well, you see, they're not you. They're them. And so they're going to always feel like them. So they've got to find their own violin. Maybe some people find it in the shape of a trumpet or a piano or playing football or something like this. So what you've just said is exactly what I'm doing now. I do what I'm doing now is because I seem to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy this aspect of it. I enjoy coming upon the odd pearl in the vastness of swine, you know?
Yes.
And so that for me is satiating my soul. That's my violin. That's you are giving me this vibration, which makes my past 5 years worthwhile. Because now I'm going to tell the other guys when we put this video up, look what I found. You know, look what I've come upon. You found me, I found you, Irit found you. You know, Irit comes from this vibration.
Right.
She's absolutely in that vibration. And what we'll find is, in this community, there's probably about 10 of us that are absolutely on that vibration. And when you're in the presence or when you're engaging with them, there's nothing else that you'd want because it's absolutely nurturing to the soul.
Yeah, and you know it. You know it. It's an absolute knowing. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's not, it rings in your soul.
Yeah. Know? And so therefore then, aren't we all just being our selfish selves?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't, it goes back to you can't be good to anyone else if you can't be good to yourself. And in order to be good to yourself, you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying selfish as in, oh, I want everything from me and me and me and me. No, fuck that. That's all material. That has nothing to do with it. It's being selfish, you know, by saying, hey, you know, I want to take the time to learn about myself. What makes this tick? Why do I like something? Why am I pulled to something? Why do I love doing this, but I hate doing that, even if they're somewhat similar? You know, it's being selfish to, you know, say, hey, you know what? No, I don't want to kick it with you people. Or no, I have something more satisfying to my spirit to do, which is work on me versus going out and hanging out at the bar or something like that. You know, you have to be selfish. If you can't be selfish, you can't be good to anybody.
Well,
I mean,
this is just one of the concepts that have been bastardized by the powers that be, because they've told us all that's selfish and that's a bad thing. Because by telling us that if you think about yourself and if you want to do something for yourself, that's not good. You should be doing it for everybody else. And so therefore your mind should be out all around the place. It shouldn't be in here. Don't start thinking about the self. That's selfish.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what they do. And they do this with many, many ways. They pervert language, and they put on meaning upon it which doesn't exist. If you look at the word self-ish, well, anything you do which is ish is kind of like, isn't it? It's ish. It's like. Yeah. So self-ish, it's kind of like, you know, me like. Me like. Oh, you're not allowed to like yourself. You're not allowed to be self-indulgent and all this sort of stuff. They don't want us in here. They don't want us in here. They want us out there.
Yeah, because out there, it is dead. It's just dead, and that's our whole thing now. Is why I said at the beginning, that's where you have to go. You have to stay in here, and you have to just let yourself be you, and let that come out. Because if you don't, you can't help anyone else. You can't. And we talked about this earlier. When you become so your consciousness is growing so much, you want to do these things. You want to go help. It's not like, oh, I got to go do this or I have to do this. It's you want to do it.
Or hey, look at me, I'm doing
this.
Yeah,
it's because you want to do
exactly.
it. That's what it is.
Of course. Because it is ultimate love.
Yeah.
So when we get older, I mean, this is one of the things that Jung said. He said there's a very good reason as to why we live to be older than our procreational age, i.e. after 40. 40, 50, when you're no longer going to be having babies, the chances are. Well, what's the point then in living another 50 years if all you're going to do is you've finished what you came here to do as far as genetics is concerned. You've procreated. You've took part in the human race. And so therefore then, all you are now is effectively a waste. You're a burden on the world's resources if you live beyond what you came here to do, if you look at it like that, yeah? So if we... as soon as we don't procreate anymore, if we're deemed by society to be a waste product because all we do is endlessly consume and we put little back, then we're not putting any more power back in the way of offspring to continue to procreate and to build and do this. All we do is we get old, we get weaker, and we consume. But you see, that's one way you can look at it. But the way Jung looked at it is that, well, this 50 years, this is the part of the human experience which allows you to look at what the fuck it is to be a human being. Because the first 50 years is what Darwin says you've come here to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've come here, you're just, a hairless monkey, and you've come to procreate your species. And by the time you've done that, you should be able to put your hand up and go, done it, can I come home now? But we're not allowed. They go, no, you've got to stay down there for another 50 years. Well, what the fuck am I going to do for 50 years? Start thinking, Muppet.
Yeah.
And then you'll see that there's another aspect. You see, this is the whole thing about the dichotomy and about the paradox of this universe. Everything is paradoxical. Sure, we seem to be a human being, and we've got a purpose through genetics for being this creature. But you see, once that's done, what else is there? That's it. Start looking. And when you find it, you go, wow, this is the gem. I had to put that first 50 years in, all that slavery and all that hard work and all that bullshit I went through to get here. And this is the gem. And now we're going to spend the next 50 years, hopefully, if we live that long, and then we'll get to another level of ascension, won't we? And hopefully, if we keep on this train of thought, then we will start to feel like what you deeply want in your heart, Greg, a far more deeper and profound connection with that from whence we came.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Dude, we have to. I don't want to cut this. What time is it?
Well, it's
we don't want to cut it, but we've got to go pick up her children. She's got her kids today in about 45 minutes. We have to do this again.
Yes. Can we continue this like on Tuesday or something?
We have to do this again.
Absolutely. Now, I'm very, very excited and pleased to have met you guys.
Yeah.
And, on this new site, there's not a lot of members at the moment in time. In actual fact, I think there's about 39. And it's amazing how from 15,000 subscribers, only 39, and most of them, are very close friends. So there's probably only about 20 that's really come over that want to go up that level. But I don't mind. And the reason why I don't mind is because I know the numbers of ascending people who are potentially going to ascend, are very, very small. So we are the Jesuses, we are the Gandhis, we're the Martin Luther Kings. And so therefore, within this small community, I'm pretty sure that you'll have quite a lot of requests, and you won't be without people to speak to, because by the time they hear this conversation, they're going to be very, very refreshed at people such as yourself who can articulate stuff that we know to be true, as far as we know anything to be true.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, like seriously, this has been, you've given me a few things to look at today through this talk, man, and it's been this has just been incredible for me. It's been incredible for me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting in contact with us, and thank you to IRIT for sending me the email, because this is what we're here to do, man. I'm chilling all over again, man. This is what her and I look for, because we don't have a ton of people, and that's the way it is. We like to keep our circles small, because you can't trust everybody that's out there. But when you connect on that level, absolutely, so that's,
and you're going to meet in this site. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to have my technician and my partner in the site, so to speak, he's the one that's built it all, send you a couple of passes, so you can get into the site and view all the videos and get involved in the forum and this, that, and the other.
Awesome.
And so they'll be free and they'll be for life, because the value of people like you are absolutely immense, as far as I'm concerned, and the other people. And so that's the least I can do to continue our friendship, and I consider you both friends now. And
us too. Thank you so much, man, because like I said, this is like our first time that we've
and Doug Michael, he's in there, by the way.
Oh yeah. Doug, we talked.
Sent him a pass today.
We'll probably be calling him on the way to pick up our kids. He's another one that's just, is just a beautiful human being, man. Beautiful human being.
And so then, together, then this is our objective. My objective is the same as yours, and a good dozen people on this site that I'm creating now, we have the same objective. We can talk forever, endlessly.
Yes.
And we're not in dispute with one another, because we know that we're on the same vibration.
Yes.
And what I akin it to, it's kind of like if you're a musician, and if you're in a guitar shop and you pluck the D string, all the other D strings on all the other guitars in that room will start crying out in sympathy.
Yeah.
Because you've struck that vibration. All the other strings, they won't ring out, because you haven't touched that vibration. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. That was beautiful.
Yeah. So we're all D strings. So welcome to the
But no, we totally have to do this again.
Yeah, please. We would love to continue this conversation.
Definitely, because there's a whole myriad of stuff I know that we can engage with forever and ever and ever. So I'm pretty flexible these days, because as much as I appeal to my viewers to come and tell their stuff to me and discuss whatever they want to, I can't get them to do it. So I'm sort of like getting to the point where I'm at the end of the tether, even bothering. And so just... We can't push rope. And that is the thing. We cannot push rope. Everything has to happen in its own natural way.
It has to be organic, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what you guys have done, you have created your little lighthouse, I've created mine, and we're going to be attracting moths. And these moths are the most beautiful creatures you can ever meet on this planet, because they are absolutely in line with the way in which we think in our vibration.
Yeah,
indeed.
It's freaking awesome, man. I know. It's freaking awesome. Thank you.
Like I always tell him, it's like you don't have to search people out. People will find you. When you are living that truth and you are being that light, it's just people will come. You don't ever have to like call out to people. People will come, and that's just the family connection. That's why I love it.
And so I know that this movement that we're involved with now, that we're creating, is going to grow exponentially because the world needs it. And so what I'm doing is I'm inviting many people, such as yourself, into this hub whereby we can just grow exponentially. And then we'll all have our own stuff going on in the periphery to one another, but we're all interconnected like neurons in a brain.
Oh,
awesome, man.
So on that note, then, I'll let you go and get your children. I wish you both the greatest of days.
You
Fantastic.
too.
A pleasure to meet you.
I can't even tell you again, man.
It was
Thank
a pleasure.
you. It was our pleasure. Thank you so much, man. And we cannot wait to talk to you again.
Absolutely.
The pleasure is mutual. So just hit me up, you know, and we'll do it like, you know, within a few days or, you know, whenever you're available. Yeah.
Let's do it. I'll hit you up on email.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks,
Aaron. You
nice
have a great day, man.
You too. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Deuces.
Okay. All right. And